Here's a story that I think we were all hoping for, but didn't expect to come out this quickly, considering the fact that Amber Heard did us all the solid, right? Or at least the jurors a solid by having their names sealed, okay, for a couple of years after this, okay? She's doing that out of the goodness of her heart. That was one of the motions that were filed during the dying days of the trial proper. But a juror has come forward and gave an anonymous interview to Good Morning America. It was one of the male jurors that were on there, okay? And there was actually a bigger proportion of the juror members, okay, and I think it was one woman and one man, yeah, who were the two alternates that were there after everybody else dropped off. A couple of jurors early in the trial anyways, but the two alternates, one was a woman, one was a male, but ended up shaking out, I think, 5-2 male to female. So we're not really going to know for sure which juror this is, but he's given his insights as to what the jury was looking at, okay, during deliberations, what they were doing during deliberations, and whose testimony they were actually taking into account when coming to their decision. And it's unfortunately not good for Amber, right? Because she tries to blame everything on social media, and Johnny Depp had these litany of witnesses who were all on their payroll, and they would all just come there to back up his story because he's such a powerful man, which you destroyed in an op-ed. But anyways, know that they would just line up from nowhere in order to get their 15 minutes of fame, or to just corroborate his claims that he was the honest truth teller and that I was just this horrible woman. Well, unfortunately, from some of the stuff, because I haven't read through all of this, okay, I just got a couple of the highlights, but unfortunately for Amber, the only two people that actually resonated with the jury, or at least the only two people that they took into account, were those two people on the screen right there. They only gave a fuck about the testimony of Johnny and Amber, and because you came across as about as credible as a plate freshly caught sushi in the middle of Nebraska, you only have yourself to blame on this. So with all of that in context, I cannot wait for Friday, and specifically Saturday, because this is what I'm thinking, okay? I don't know if anybody's going to care about this, but I'm going to see if I can, tinker around with some stuff in the back end. But maybe, considering the fact that I don't know how long the Dateline interview is going to be when it airs, and seeing how long it takes me to just go through those little snippets that are out there, I'm thinking, and I don't care who turns up for it or anything like that. It's mostly just for the fact that it will just all be put out there, okay, with a lot less stress on my little rental computer for right now, because my other one's in the shop because it's still busted. But anyways, no, if there's an opportunity to just go through the full interview, if it gets put out on stupid NBC's proprietary player, hopefully there's a YouTube link to it so we could go through it that way. But I'm thinking of live streaming that, okay, and doing a kind of like an EFAP, okay, a live breakdown on that. Like I said, I don't care who shows up for that, but instead of running it through an edit, okay, because really it's just gonna sound and look exactly like this stuff, because I know the source material inside and out at this point, and we've seen a bunch of the clips, and I know that the video will probably be somewhere in about, depending on how long the interview proper is probably going to be like an hour and a half, 2 hours long. So I might be doing that. Don't hold me specifically to that. It's all contingent on the full video being posted by whatever outlets are out there at a decent enough quality for us to watch all that stuff. So with all of that in mind, let's get in the proper mindset ahead of all this stuff, knowing what the jury used in order to come to their verdict on this one, where Amber Heard got BTFO'd, but she won one of the counterclaims. That's nice. A juror in the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard defamation trial said in an interview that aired Thursday on Good Morning America that the actress cried during her testimony. The jury only saw crocodile tears. Well, they're better than everybody else who didn't see any tears proper, but I know what you're talking about. It didn't come across as believable. Ooh, that sucks, he said. It seems like she was able to flip the switch on her emotions. Yes, that was very, very obvious, and kind of to like a creepy psychopathic level, okay, where one moment she would just be, oh my god, this is so terrible, and then there would be an objection from Camille, and they, wait a minute, oh, like she's seen a fucking squirrel run across the courtroom. It's like, it isn't resonating, and I gave her credit when I was breaking down day by day by day. Okay, when she first took the stand, I thought she was at least being authentic when she was setting up her life story. She started to lose me after the whole Oh, yeah, and then I used to do charity work at a soup kitchen. It's like, nobody believes that you're that outside of yourself to actually do something good for the fucking community. It could have been just, the public service that you were mandated to do after you got drunk and killed your best friend in high school, and those court records are sealed. Anyways, it didn't come across as believable. It seemed like she was able to flip the switch on her emotions. She would answer one question, it would be natural crying, and 2 seconds later, it would turn ice cold. And again, no tears detected. It didn't seem natural. Depp, he said, it just seemed a little bit more real in terms of how he responded to questions. Yeah, no, exactly. That's what everybody who didn't have a bias coming into this stuff, where it's like, oh, Johnny Depp's a great actor. All he's going to do is just act up there. Oh, why is he talking so slow? He talks slow. He talks deliberately. He has a very flowery vocabulary where he doesn't really use the same word twice. He's an engaging individual to listen to on playback at about 2 times speed. But anyways, no, that's just Johnny Depp, okay? He was authentic. It was his story. He was telling it as best as he could remember it. I don't think it was inauthentic, and that's the way that it resonated with the jury. Not really surprised. The juror, one of 7 during the 6-week trial, spoke exclusively to Good Morning America and is the only juror of record to speak publicly about the case. Yeah, and I'd lend this interview some credibility because I'm certain that Good Morning America probably did. Okay, and again, this is me giving credibility to mass media at this point. But, hey, it's weird. It's weird. Some of the entertainment sections of this do better research than just their standard news fare. So I would imagine that they probably corroborated that this is an actual juror who was on the panel. They probably had some contacts in the courtroom at the time. And it's like, was that the guy? Did you see him in the juror box? Yeah, okay, cool. We can believe his story. Unlike the one TikToker that was out there who was making reliable, reasonable claims, but it didn't really seem like that was one of the guys that was there, as it was verified by a couple of the lawyers that were in the room. And it's like, no, that wasn't a dude. Okay, I don't recognize him. Doesn't look like it at all. But who knows? Maybe Good Morning America got caught up in the hysteria here, and then they just took the bait on this. So we could be doing all of this breakdown for nothing. But I tend to believe that they probably got an actual juror here. Anyways, in early June, a jury, which the anonymous juror, who's probably not anonymous to ABC, Good Morning America, but still. He didn't give his name, wanted it left out. That's fine. I appreciate all that stuff, okay? But I also find it funny that Good Morning America gets to run this story. They went to them, okay? And today, and Dateline is getting the Amber Heard exclusive. I bet you CBS, because they also got an interview from Elaine. They're probably feeling pretty left out in the cold because everybody else is getting this extra shit. And they had to talk to a cat lady, so, oh well, sucks to suck, I guess. Anyways, yeah, Heard received $2 million in the countersuit. Yeah, no, exactly. Depp was awarded 10.35 after the curbing of the punitive damages, so for a net benefit of 8.35 million, which is going to be interesting. Anyways, the catalyst for the defamation lawsuit was the 2018 op-ed, which it didn't even name Johnny Depp. Yeah, that's all nice and everything. So Heard's credibility, as you can see with this one statement here, apparently this is what he said. Why would you buy the knife? Why would you buy the other person a knife? That was a question directly made, or at least the insinuation that was out there from Camille. And I'm pretty sure that was like one of the first things that came up. I'm pretty sure that was, if it wasn't the first question, it was within the first couple of minutes of the first full day of cross-examination where they kicked off the day with Amber on the stand, Camille asking the questions. They brought out the physical knife, and it's like, okay, cool, because you retconned your own story by saying, oh no, the abuse started back in 2012. I just thought that it was the nicer time that we had. I thought our honeymoon time was a little bit longer than that. But then after years of receiving a fucking steady amount of violence against you, you'd buy him a big old Bowie knife? Doesn't really seem to compute. It didn't resonate with literally anybody that was out there. They were all just kind of pointing to that, and I was like, this is fucked. And then apparently, again, this is supposed to be a peer of, or a jury pool of reasonable people, okay? A jury of your own peers. And again, there's a lot read into how the jury's going to take this testimony. They're real people, okay? They were seeing the same stuff at the same time. They just happen to have a front row seat, okay? It's like going to a concert, okay? You have floor seats, okay? You're wondering how well the people in the fourth row can see. If you're sitting in the 16th, you think that they have a better vantage point? You think that they're going to be seeing a different show? I don't fucking think so. The jury concluded they were both abusive to each other, but Heard's team failed to prove that Depp's abuse was physical. Yeah, no, exactly. And that's originally where this all kind of stemmed from, and that's actual domestic abuse, okay? And then you can see from some of Amber's original claims in her op-ed as well, she was a victim of sexual violence during the time that she was married to Johnny Depp. But I didn't mention, we got it. Okay? So again, this had to be physical. This had to be sexual. It was at best emotional, maybe. Like it's tough to have "you're a cunt" yelled at you all the time, but at the same time, when it comes to defamation or when it comes to abuse, truth is kind of the ultimate defense. Anyways, they had their husband-wife arguments. Again, everybody does. Every fucking relationship has arguments. Okay, they were both yelling at each other. You don't get. Oh, I don't think that makes either of them right or wrong. No, it just makes them, real fucking people, okay? But again, Amber's the perfect angel who never does anything wrong, but I take accountability. Except for when it's time to take accountability, then it's whoosh, whoosh, just ducking and diving, dodging, moving. Anyways, yeah, it doesn't make either of them right or wrong. That's what you do when you get into an argument, I guess. Yeah, no, exactly. But to rise to the level where she was claiming there wasn't enough or any evidence, oh, that sucks, that really supported what she was saying. Heard, the juror said, was considered the aggressor in the relationship by a majority of the jury. And that is why there was a compromised verdict at the end of this, because it really sounds like this dude was just sitting there being like, yeah, they had arguments. They're a couple. It literally happens with everybody, okay? You can be the most level-headed individual, okay? You can be the most cool as cucumber person. But if somebody knows how to push the buttons, if somebody is as relentless as Amber Heard, you remember 5 bathrooms, 2 bedrooms, you just wouldn't stop coming. Eventually, you're gonna yell, okay? You're gonna yell, you're gonna try to move away before you start throwing fists or start grabbing bottles by the base. And I don't need to make a fucking Maker's Mark joke in this one. I guess I did coincidentally. Anyways, so yeah, Amber Heard considered the aggressor in the relationship of the majority of the jury. If you have a battered wife or a spouse situation, why would you buy the other person, the aggressor, a knife? If you really wanted to help Johnny Depp get off drugs, then why are you taking drugs around him? Thank you. Okay, she said, remember, this was during her, I think it was direct, right? It's like, I tried everything to get Johnny clean and sober, except for, stop drinking $20,000 of wine a fucking month, you crazy bitch, okay? Would you do any of that? I don't got a problem. What the fuck, okay? Like, I don't want to get too deep into my own personal backstory or something like that, but knowing what I know when it comes to addiction, okay, if you're trying to get somebody off of something, you don't have that around the house, you don't have that around in their access at all, okay? If it's alcohol, if it's pills, if it's powder, if it's the leafy green stuff, if that person is trying to get clean and stay clean and create a pattern of sobriety, that shit ain't even close to anybody that's out there. And I understand it's like Johnny Depp has a pretty comprehensive network. If he wants to get fucked up, the motherfucker's going to get fucked up, okay? Sight unseen, he just a couple of presses on his smartphone away from getting some fucking powders and pills and drink if he wants to. But he also specifically asked Amber, okay, if you want me to stop drinking, we can stop drinking, but will you help me out with this? No. So yeah, very salient point, and I'm glad the jury picked up on that, okay? Heard testify she purchased a large knife as a gift, which Depp's legal team presented to jurors. Yeah, that probably helped a lot, because there wasn't a lot of physical evidence in this trial. I think that was the only real thing that the jury got to see. The rest of it was all video, audio, just testimony at large as well, but that was the only actual thing that was there, and that was a good demonstrative, and especially if it's so unique that's out there, whatever side's doing that lands in their favor, okay? Like if Amber's side could have had some of that, cut hair off of her scalp to show, it's like, see, this is what Johnny pulled out. Well, also, if you have anybody based in reality, which it kind of seems like this juror was, that might not have played that well, because it's like, where's the blood? Where's the scalp? None of this makes sense. That just looks like you just took kind of a clipper to the side that you normally kind of, throw the coif over. I don't really know. None of this really lines up or anything like that. And it's kind of got the texture of a dog. So what are you trying to do here? Anyways, The juror said photographs Heard took of her ex-husband also fell flat. Oh yeah, he was on the nod. He's sleeping on his fucking island, okay? Although the defense used to show Depp's a decrepit state after a drug or alcohol binge, the jurors said they failed to make an impact. Yeah, exactly. And especially when you zoom out and you start to see that he's got his hand in his pocket with the spilt ice cream, which is just kind of odd in and of itself, okay? But when you zoom out a little further and you start to see, it's like, why does it look like there's a makeup kit at the bottom of that? And I understand that Johnny's got some flourish and he's a little bit of a musician himself, but why would there be a makeup kit next to somebody who's quote-unquote on the nod, okay? But again, the only one that seems kind of close that might have resonated, even though it didn't, these are the words of the juror, of course, but the one where he's in Tokyo, where he's curled up next to a nightstand where he's apparently passed out. I've fallen asleep in worse situations, but you could at least see. It's like, okay, maybe he's on the nod. But again, what does that have to do with anything? Okay, he has a drug problem, and instead of helping him, you're taking pictures of it? Well, he needs to get help. Get him help then, you dumb cunt. Anyways, if you mix alcohol and marijuana, that's where you usually end up passed out. Okay, this guy loves to party. We discussed at length that a lot of the drugs, as she said he used, most of them were downers. Yeah, exactly, because, again, Johnny's testimony is he doesn't like to party, okay? He doesn't do drugs to get high. He just uses drugs to numb the pain, which is very sad, okay? Like, ugh, God, that's... you can understand the dude's had a rough fucking childhood and he's had a tough time trying to reconcile the traumas of that, but it lines up, okay? Like everything that he testified to, it's like, yeah, I tried MDMA like a handful of times. It's not really for me, okay? And yeah, you don't want to get addicted to opiates. And again, that was a very engaging story that he told on the stand, okay? And then the horrors, and that's where I hate Amber Heard extensively. That's where all of that kind of bases from, the fact that she wouldn't help out a guy who's clearly going through withdrawal symptoms, and opiate withdrawals will fucking kill you. And the fact that you're not going to help him out with that, that's where there was no coming back for me. But again, I highlighted that in another video as well. But again, the dude was using, downers, sedatives, okay? Pot, booze, some pills, Xanax and shit like that. But cocaine is the only upper, but that was occasionally, and that was done in the company of other people. So in every one of the pictures that Amber Heard took that correlated with him passing out everywhere, that stuff don't really add up, okay? And that's what he's expressing here. Yeah, so they were downers, and usually don't get violent on down. That's flawed logic, okay? Because how many times do the fights break out at a bar to, kind of throw that a little bit for a loop? But I guess, yeah, when you're adding all of that stuff together, okay, you're drinking, you might be doing pills, smoking dope at the same time. You're not really too forward in wanting to, start an altercation or anything like that. Especially when you got audio tapes to back up the fact that these instances of violence, or at least mutual combative situations, they would ramp up emotionally pretty high. So yeah, somebody who is a few blunts deep, I don't really think that they're getting up there and starting throwing hands, okay? Or dragging anybody through glass. In his testimony, Depp also admitted to cocaine use, a stimulant, and Amber Heard testified he was frequently doing the drug in her presence. Yes, he had a jar of cocaine. Sure he did. Speaking about the makeup, no credibility. Yeah, because she contradicted herself. I never go out without wearing at least foundation and whatever concealer, some shit like that, okay? Because I got a skin condition. Until you went to go get your DVTRO, where, you said that I had no makeup on. And it's like, what are you doing? Why would you say those things? Why would you say those things in close proximity to one another? That's poor testimony. Well, it's poor trying to keep track of your lies. And then it's also bad lawyering. But again, it's Elaine. What did you expect? The juror also said the jury essentially dismissed all witnesses on both sides who were employees, paid experts, friends, or family from either side. Then who's left? Only Amber and Johnny. And of the testimony that was up there, okay, it just basically boiled down to those people and who had a more credible story. and the verdict speaks who was more believable. Also suspect were the photos that Heard's team presented that purported to show bruising on the actress's face. Thank you. Okay. That wasn't painfully obvious to begin with. When Camille started to run through the different pictures, it's like, oh yeah, you were beaten about the face so many times you thought you were going to die. Here's a picture of a dull bruise on your arm. But yeah. Then again, the injuries were there. They were just not visible injuries that you can see. Ugh. 2 photos were presented near the end of the trial that were not credible to the jury. Oh, were those the side-by-side ones where it was just very obvious that they were color corrected? That's funny. They believe the accusations by Depp's teams were that one photo was edited to artificially redden Amber's face to suggest bruising. Yep. That's exactly what that was. That was good old Norbert who was up there, who was going through all of the internal data, at least what he can pull from the photos, because any of the source devices weren't exactly turned over. Here's what we have. Well, can we get the actual devices? Oh, you expect me to keep so many devices? Well, Johnny did. And here's 10 years of everything that we have. Oh, but we got mountains of evidence. Okay, cool. But it kind of looks like at least a portion of that mountain might be edited. Yeah, no, anyways. Heard testifies that the photos looked different because of the vanity light. Yeah, no, exactly. When they're both side by side with one another. Those were 2 different pictures. We couldn't really tell which picture was real and which one was not. The juror told GMA. Yeah, and it really doesn't much matter, because what did it show? The redness, maybe, kind of, if you oversaturate one picture. And again, that could also be from the fact that Amber doesn't exactly have the best skin. Oh, she does when she's wearing foundation and filler and whatever the fuck else. Fucking putty and sealer, whatever the bitch puts on her fucking face. But it's all smooth like that. But yeah, you get a little bit closer and then you start to get some of those fucking wine pimples. Anyways, the juror also said the defense failed Heard by telling them that the actress never goes outside without makeup on. Yay! That's exactly what I pointed out. And she goes to file the restraining order without makeup on. Why would you say something so retarded so close to each other? And it just so happens her publicist is there with her. Yeah, and again, no, she's a very dear friend. Of all of your dear friends, you know, including your best friend and her cuck boyfriend who is also with you at the same time, why were you hopping down the street, smiling and frolicking in public without any physical signs of bruising on your face? But again, you have X-Men Wolverine fucking levels of healing factor. Intermittently, I suppose. But yeah, no, again, you brought your publicist, and again, if she would have been central or integral to any of the other stories, it's like, yeah, no, I'd travel with my she's also my publicist, but she's also my friend. She was with me a couple of different times on different trips as well. If she would have been a part of your narrative, it would have been an easier sell that way. It's like, yeah, of course, we live together, we hang out all the time. She went with me, okay, she drove me there. She didn't want me driving because I was hysterical. That would have been a better story to craft, but you couldn't keep your lies together. But whatever. Those things add up, and it starts to become hard to believe. Oh, that was the point where it was becoming hard to believe? I get it. Anyways. Oh, yeah. Donate and pledge. You don't say. The juror said the 4-hour debate over the difference between a pledged donation and an actual donation ended up a fiasco for Heard. Yeah, no shit. It wasn't 4 hours, but whatever. On the stand, Heard testified she never finished donating all $7 million of her divorce settlement. Well, frankly, she didn't even start donating it, okay, to 2 charities, which is the ACLU, and the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles, which online lawyers have donated $128,000 to. And then there's another one who's out there who put his stuff. And there was a couple of hit pieces that I seen out there. Oh, look at, he's trying to profit off of his notebook and a couple of wristbands that are out there. Every single cent, okay, it's set up directly on eBay. There's a charity that's out there. I couldn't find it. It might be over by this time or whatever, but it was approaching about $20,000 for the fucking notebook that the DUI guy was using at the time in the courtroom, okay? And every single one of those proceeds, this is one of those things you can do on eBay, apparently, okay? All of the money that's sent there doesn't even come to the DUI guy. It goes directly to whatever charity you set it up to, and I think he did that for Children's Hospital of Los Angeles. I'm pretty sure on that one, but it was going directly to charity. It goes, everybody after the purchase is complete, okay, that money gets sent to eBay, okay, using whatever you want, okay, and then it goes directly, eBay sets it up so that it goes directly to that charity, okay. It doesn't even come to DUI guy. He just ships it out to whoever won the bid, okay. So online lawyers, better than Amber Heard. But again, grass is green, sky is blue. And Amber Heard's a liar. Yeah, no, again, and another one of those factors. It's like, I just only want to help Johnny, and I just, this has just been so traumatic for me, and I just want to get this over with. I just want to get my life back. I need my voice back. That's why you go and you have a full-length interview that's set to go up. But anyways, no, regardless, okay, Johnny Depp was going to pay the divorce settlement money directly to those two charities you had pledged to give that money to, okay. And he was like, okay, cool, if you're just gonna donate it all, I'll just fucking pay it right now, okay. You don't have to set up incremental, little milestones for you to hit so your name can just continue to circulate in the news. But then she got all cunty about it, and it's like, well, he's going to get the tax benefits off of that, so he better pay the full amount of $11 million. But then you also don't want to get into the fact that the settlement, okay, that came over to Amber to begin with was already post-tax money. So, again, he already paid the taxes on something, and then you didn't want him to get a tax break, but you just wanted to help Johnny, just like you wanted to help him kick addiction without doing anything first. It's almost like your stories never line up, literally ever. Like, she's an amazing case study when it comes to just slipping any responsibility or keeping a cohesive narrative. She is the manifestation of the modern woman, and that's why I'm so hell-bent on covering this story right to its bitter end, when she has to, I don't know, start working at Wendy's or some dumb shit like that, selling foot pics. Then we'll do an OnlyFans review on the channel. I don't fucking care. Heard testified that a pledge and a donations are synonymous with one another, and they mean the same thing. The jury was shown video of Heard on her Dutch talk show, RTL Live, I think. Anyways, saying she gave her donations to the charities. Yeah, no, exactly. And then also had it played back in another video deposition where I donated it all. Yep, congratulations. I wanted to see how this landed. The fact is, she didn't give much of it all away. Yeah, no, she didn't give any of it away. Elon Musk ended up paying $500,000 to the ACLU and Children's Hospital as well. And Johnny Depp, because she wasn't make any of the payments, okay, he kicked in $100,000 to both sides on that one. So, and then that prompted the whole, well, if Johnny's going to fulfill the pledges, he better pay the entire amount and not get any of the tax break. This fucking bitch. It was disingenuous. Yeah, no shit. And like I said before, okay, I think, was that yesterday during the interview breakdown? I think it was. But anyways, yeah, no, if she just would have moved on from that, if that just would have been one of those messy details where you just kind of got to skate past, and it's like, yeah, I said pledge, and then I also said donate on a couple of different times, but it got tough, and you just try to fucking get through it, okay, spin your narrative however you want to. You could have saved yourself a lot of problems, but again, your testimony, considering the fact the jury was only taking into account yours and Johnny's testimony, you should have known that, okay, because you set it up like you can't trust anybody who's on the payroll, and you think that that would just be a one-way street. You couldn't even get anybody to show up for you, okay, so if they were stripping everything away, all of the experts, which kind of sucks. That means that Dr. Muffin's hot ass got up on the stand. You guys didn't pay attention just once. Come on, dude. Come on. Well, let's be fucking honest here. There's no simping allowed, but still, dude, she's fucking there. Like, come on. But kudos on you of, I don't know, just sitting back, relaxing, chilling, and not giving two fucks about Catherine Arnold's crazy comparisons that Amber Heard is just like Jason Momoa without the, talent. But the juror blamed Heard's legal team for giving her poor advice. No, she just kept lawyer shopping, and that's the best that she could come up with. But anyways, such as looking directly at the jury when responding to questions. Yeah, if she would have kept that up, or if she would have just been, conversational back and forth, and then intermittently looking over when you're trying to emphasize a point, you're trying to clear something up that sounds a little bit too complex, that would have been a little bit more natural. It's like when you're talking to an audience of people, when you're doing any public speaking, you look from person to person, you surveil the room, or sometimes if it's a darkened auditorium or something like that, things that I've had to do from time to time as well. You can look up to the balcony, you could just imagine that there's somebody up there as well, and you just also, well, I know you're in a witness stand or something like that, but you can just adjust yourself and not just be, so conscious about your body language. Again, it's like she knew certain things. It's like, oh my God, you're an abuse victim, so you got to kind of, shelter yourself up. But then at the same time, whenever you'd hear an objection, you'd immediately straighten right up, and then you'd start to take notice, and then you just snap back into a different emotion. But that could also be borderline personality manifesting out there. But again, why didn't you guys, if you guys discredited all the experts that were there, you couldn't have taken that one into account. But regardless, they were just looking apparently at the facts and at the testimony of the two people central to this case, which is fine, which is good, okay? But yeah, no, looking, okay, directly at the jury when responding to questions, all of us were very uncomfortable. Yeah, no, exactly. He also said her team had sharp elbows versus being sharp. Oh! Yeah, no, exactly, because you could also tell. So I guess Rottenborn's little quips back and forth to Johnny Depp, didn't land very well. It kind of seemed like that, okay, because Rottenborn is very, very used to being probably the most witty guy wherever he goes. Hell, he graduated from Stanford, really top of his class stuff. Okay, so this is a smart motherfucker, at least in his opinion. Okay, so and then he thought he could go charisma for charisma with Johnny fucking Depp. The hubris of this fucking defense team was astronomical. But again, he surmises that very well. Sharp elbows as opposed to being sharp. Yeah, they were a group of dumb motherfuckers, and objection. That's my own question. Sorry about that. They would cut people off and cross, because they wanted one specific answer without context. Yeah, Camille would do that intermittently after Amber would just go on this fucking belabored rambling. Same with Dawn Hughes, who would just, I think she probably buried herself. That was Dr. Karen, by the way, and then Dr. Spiegel. The less said about that crazy motherfucker, the best, okay? They were forcing people to answer a very narrow question, which was obvious. Yeah, because if you're going to be conversational throughout all of the trial, when you start to switch stuff up in order to box people in that you're very scared of, it's noticeable, okay? She needs better advice, he said of Heard. Well, again, Heard's kind of a control freak, and she was running this trial, so yeah, no, that's what would have happened. Again, it's good advice without, the context of the fact that this bitch is crazy. Publishing the 2018 op-ed in the Washington Post, the defamed Depp was a poor choice, he said. She didn't do any of this stuff with, the op-eds. Johnny Depp could have helped her out in her career. Oh, this guy's a man after my own heart. What have I been saying? If Amber would have just listened to Johnny's advice, she might actually have a career going forward, okay? Their marriage might have eventually failed, okay? But Johnny, specifically at that time, was definitely a blue pill chump, and they probably would have stayed together, okay? He was in a relationship, didn't get married to Vanessa Paradis for 14 fucking years, and then eventually it dissolved. He got frustrated, and she got opportunistic and spread her 24-year-old legs, which is terrific. Congratulations, but you should have just hit it and quit it, ejaculate and evacuate. But still, regardless, he was given good fucking advice from those audio clips. Don't get your tits out, dress less like a whore, and work on yourself, okay? That's good advice. Stop being a dislikable cunt and you'll get farther in this industry. I should know a thing or two. I've been in it since I'm fucking 18 years old. I'm Johnny fucking Depp, okay? That name holds weight, and I can get you opportunities like Aquaman. I got you the fucking in right there because my name and my success is mine alone, and I'm just trying to spread the wealth. But no, she knows everything, and she's smarter than everybody. And what does Johnny Depp know? Just a decades-long career, but he's fat and washed up, and who's gonna pay attention to 21 Drunk Street? Ugh. But yeah, back to his testimony here. They didn't leave things out. They didn't leave things on a nasty turn when they divorced, he said. It turned nasty after the op-ed. Not necessarily true, because I think the DVTRO was probably ascertained under dubious circumstances, to say the least, so it was probably nasty then. It just turned defamatory right then and there. And then again, it culminated in 2018 because the first attack didn't work, kind of like the final big breakout, or breakup, right? That the fight where the police were called and, we don't see anything. And then they're like, oh, fuck, we got to rough this place up a little bit more. And then the cops came back again and it's like, no, there's still not enough. And they're like, oh, fuck, well, I got to go get a restraining order 5 days after the fact. Anyways, so yeah, what did the jury look at? I already said, and they already talked about it, okay? They threw out everybody's testimony who wasn't Amber and Johnny, okay? No experts, no friends, no family, nobody who's on the payroll. Who the fuck is left, okay? Business associates? No, okay? It's Johnny and Amber. It was them the whole time. Could have cut out the faff of everything else. Memes and jokes aside, okay? At the end of the day. And this is what a lot of people have been saying as well. People, with common fucking sense, okay? If the jury was only going to be looking at the evidence and the testimony, it didn't matter what the greater context, what the greater societal impact of this trial makes, okay? All of the memes, all of the hours of nonsensical TikToks that are out there didn't sway the jury one bit. They were looking at the fucking evidence and they would have got that in a closed courtroom. It didn't fucking matter. Amber was still going to lose this case based on what they presented in that courtroom. The juror denied the jury was swayed by outside forces. He and at least 3 others did not have Twitter accounts. Good for them. Those are just good life choices, okay? Some people said they were bribed. That makes sense. That's not true. Social media did not impact us. We followed the evidence. We didn't take into account anything outside the courtroom. Yeah, exactly. You're bestowed with this extraordinary power for the time being. There's this weird thing that happens in people, okay? You're told to do something, you're in such a high elevated position, you're going to generally follow along with this, okay? And even still, like I pointed out this stuff before, the stuff that was on social media was just using the testimony in the courtroom, okay? The memes were all based on reality, so how could that sway anybody? They know what they've seen, okay? They might laugh at I stepped on a bee, I got to pee, I live next to a tree, all of those fun little off-the-cuff memes that happened. But then at the end of the day, they're like, yeah, I remember her making that fucking goofy face. But then I also remember her not crying a single fucking tear whenever she'd have this intermittent emotional breakdown. Interesting. So yes, we only looked at the evidence. They were very serious allegations and a lot of money involved. So we weren't taking it lightly. Good for him. Good. The juror also said that no one on the jury was starstruck and their individual celebrity never played a factor in their decision. Yeah, because that was one of the questions in the voir dire, the jury kind of interview process that's out there, okay? Everybody who was on the jury knew who Johnny Depp was because literally it's like fucking McDonald's, okay? It's like what, of living movie stars that are out there, it's probably what, like Tom Cruise, The Rock, and then Johnny Depp. Like, if he's not in top 3, he's got to be top 5, top 10 at worst. And Amber Heard, yeah, she was hot in the early 2000s, but whatever happened to her? Oh, she's getting sued because she's a lying whore. But yeah, no, them saying that they weren't starstruck and the celebrity factor never played into it also discredits one of my favorite, and by favorite, I mean something that brings my temperature to a fucking boil, is when anybody says, oh, well, the jury was probably just sitting there thinking that it was 2 millionaires and they were just bickering over the millions of dollars. That just throws that just takes that shit fucking theory and tosses it directly into the sun. Terrific. They were looking at the issues of this. This was a good fucking jury. Congratulations, whoever picked this stuff. If it was both sides and it would be, came together on this decision, this is the best piece of lawyering that the defense ever did. Unfortunately for them, they got a really fucking unbiased jury when it came to this. None of us were really fans of either one of them. But they're probably a little bit more of a fan of Johnny Depp after this because he was authentic and he treated everybody like real fucking people, as opposed to Amber Heard, who treated the jury like an audience, and she was there to put on the quote-unquote performance of a lifetime. Asked whether he would go to see future movies starring Depp or Heard, the juror said it would depend on the movie. This guy's based as fuck. No, what they do in their personal lives doesn't affect me whatsoever. Going to movies is entertaining. I go for the quality of the movie or the storyline, he said, not for the acting. Oh, Man, big ups on whoever actually wrote this article as well, because that's a great way to end that, because again, that was all central. And once we go back over the interview in proper, okay, the big sit down interview with Savannah Guthrie and Amber Heard, yeah, no, she's going to be, oh, the jury was just taken aback by the star factor of Johnny Depp. Nope. Oh, they were just, there were so many people there that would just line up to help this powerful man. Nope. Oh, it was just your failings and yours alone that sunk your case. A winnable case that you muddied with a horrific performance, bad facts, and consistent fucking lies. You get what you deserve, stupid. With all of that said, I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.